Hi, I'm Paul and this is Lee. Welcome to the Just Pull the Trigger podcast.
This is the show that discusses the trials, tribulations and triumphs of a small business owner. This week we're chatting to Neil Sweeney. Neil started off his career as a commercial estate agent but has since scaled and sold multiple businesses.
Now he's loving life as a coach, teaching entrepreneurs to do exactly the same. So you started in
2011.
real estate?
So going back a bit, then it was agency, commercial agent, down at Deadman's.
Deadman's, yeah.
That was how the journey started. Actually, it was, we went to school, Michael Deadman, a friend of ours, Deadman's. Went in there, I said, can I have a job? And do you know what? You can go and take photos for the auction department. So that was how the birth of my game started in it, right?
When you said you go to school, did you know him via...
Yeah, that's how so Michael Deadman's, I'll go get a bit of content around that then. So Chris Deadman, the son, his dad owned Deadman's estate agents.
Yeah.
So they said, can I have a job? That's how you get jobs.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Gone in there, he said, I'll give you a job. Go and work in auctions. You can take the photos of the property. So that was how my first journey started for property. Quickly, then worked through it. Then I was kind of working in the auction department. But what I found was I'm actually a salesman. I like talking to people and selling it. But you can't do that in auction. You literally open the door. You can't do that. But you literally just open the door and go, here it is.
Yes.
The lot comes in.
Cool, that's a banger, isn't it?
Cool, beautiful, isn't it? Cool, have you seen the ensuite? But you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
You just open the door and let them in. So they said, you'd be better if you came into commercial. So that was then started in commercial property. And I was 18, 19 years old, something like that. So that was how the birth started around commercial property. Then I moved in a couple of other local agents, Ayres and Cruiks. And then I moved to a regional, bit of a slightly larger company. So stuck with commercial property. In actual fact, the best thing about commercial property for me was meeting the people.
Yeah.
So I'm meeting business owners every day. I'm talking about what size unit do they want. We were talking about logistics a minute ago, Lee, right? How big's the warehouse? What sort of business are you into? How profitable? Can you send me your accounts? Because we need to send it to the landlord for proof. And so you're really understanding. How long did I spend in that game for? I set my first company up at 30, so 12 years-ish, meeting business owners every day. That was the best footing for me, because ultimately for a decade, I just talked to business owners about growth, buildings, units, so on. So that's how that journey started.
Yeah, I think similar to that is, I always say, I was talking to my wife about this the other day, is that I didn't have a job, but I got into golf. And so did you.
Yeah.
And you start mixing with these guys that, I don't know, they're 40, 50, 60 years old, and I'm 14, right?
Yeah.
And you're talking to these guys and you learn to interact with these people, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's probably a similar sort of thing.
Yeah,
do you know
absolutely.
what I mean?
Your ears up, you're listening, you're seeing what's going on. Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and inevitably those, at the time, golf seems to have got a bit more sort of inclusive now.
Yeah.
But at the time it was very exclusive. You have the...
It was the old boy network, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Going down a Thorpe Hall.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so they tended to be quite sort of successful blokes that you're hanging around
retired.
with. Yeah, exactly, and a real mix as well of like whatever they did as well.
Yeah, you had judges, you had, guys in the council, you had, guys that own their own business.
Yeah.
And they want, when you can, it's weird, when you're 15 and you can hit a ball with a stick down a low bit of grass, they want to be around you.
Yeah.
They want you on your team.
So, you're caddying for them and you like speaking, you get to know.
So isn't it bizarre? You're actually almost at that point. You don't even know you're doing it, but you're actually networking.
Absolutely.
In a sense, aren't you? You don't even know you're doing it.
I know I didn't, but I know loads of guys that we know that have got jobs via the golf club. Absolutely. In fact, most of them, I would say.
Yeah.
Probably.
And I think also when you are that age as well, you're communicating with older people.
Yeah.
You're not just around
wisdom.
Yeah, exactly. And you learn to be polite and good manners and just communicating with
and
older
experience.
people. Absolutely. You're not just talking about Pokemons.
Yeah.
I think if you think about the other kids that weren't maybe doing that, right? What were they doing? They're probably like they're down the park, drinking White Lightning or something. You know what I mean?
Don't knock that.
No,
That's good.
it's a good drop.
Yeah. So that was how I think that was a great foundation for me.
Yeah.
Did a decade of that, met lots of great people, successful, wealthy in many respects, but equally companies that are on their learning journey. Within a decade, businesses can grow, right? Within that time, so they'd come back, better growth, watch them. So that was the first part of the journey. Then from that, shall I share the story?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, so you in the sort of brief you gave me, I didn't know this really, but what made you just go quit that comfortable income into moving into your in-laws' garage?
Yes, right. Yeah, that was a brave thing to do. So 2011 was when we formed the company, February 2011. I was working for a lot of companies, security businesses, vacant property businesses. A lot of them needed security, shoring, draining the buildings down. So I was just seeing a lot of these units needed facility. They needed to be looked after. Yeah. They needed security around them.
Even though they're vacant?
Even though they're vacant, you'd put an alarm in the corner, you'd drain the building down, you might have to put some security around it. Yeah. So I saw that as an opportunity. And I remember meeting a guy that was in the security game, and I just learnt loads from him. It was like, in actual fact, I could do this. This is actually, I've seen, I think the big one as well, guys, was I had seen a lot of entrepreneurial businesses growing and doing it. I'd learnt a lot, and I think what I thought, I could be more. I could do more. Now, the role that I was in, brilliant game, really enjoyed it. Still got great friends in that space, but I wanted my own ship. Yeah. I wanted to be my own captain. I wanted to make some I want to make some mistakes and learn. And I just saw it as an opportunity. So that was probably my first entrepreneurial actual move. You know, I've always been entrepreneurial. I do believe it's kind of in your soul. I think it's kind of in there. You know, can you learn it? I don't know. That's for debate. But for me, was like, right, it's an opportunity, and I just grabbed it. Now, what that meant when you say about the garage. So I had a good income, happy living, really enjoyed it, but it wasn't really enough.
It wasn't fulfilling enough.
It just wasn't enough, Lee. I just needed something more. So I remember at that point, we didn't have any money. We were renting a house, and my wife, her parents, they had a double garage linked to the house.
So when you say garage, it's still all right. It's still quite nice.
Yeah.
So you're not got like a kitchen drill.
I wasn't sleeping on the top of the kitchen side. No, that was where the kids slept. But then from that credit card, fitted it out, insulated it, heating, toilets out, great, and we moved into there. And the key reason is because I didn't want any overheads. Yeah. Because that's the first thing. Yeah. The main reason why people don't move, there's two things. You make decisions by fear and love. Yeah. And the fear part is, if I leave the bosom of the comfort of this job, if this doesn't work, where am I going to get my income from? That's the biggest one, isn't it, really? Many people stay in jobs for that reason. Yeah. So I thought, well, I'll remove that. And I'll live there, so no overheads or very little.
So you could literally earn naffle.
Be okay. We can live on a shoestring, and that we lived in the converted garage with the kids. Tiffany was Hetty born? She was pregnant. Yeah, Hetty was just about to be born, so it was a busy little room.
Yeah. Kudos to your missus for actually agreeing.
I know. Yeah. I don't
know a lot about that.
Yeah, it's cost me a bit now. But so then we embarked on the journey. That was 2011. So grew that company. We exited 2021, 2022. So it was really pretty much, you could call it a good 10 years. A good 10-year stint building Securo. Yeah, that was the first. That was the first business. But within that as well, 2013, you see something shiny. What is it about? You see stuff shiny and you go, what's that over there? Yeah. I had a good conversation around property management, connected the dots. It's all about people.
I was about to say, that's sort of like
it's all about people. If you see great people, you see an opportunity, how can I support or work with them? So then we formed what was Urban Life, which was a property management company, 2013, and built that, had some partners in that, scaled that, sold that in 2019. So that was quite a short window, 6 years of scaling. Scaled it up, sold it to a national management company, 2019. Great business, property management, in terms of value. All you're doing is you're just increasing its value because you're adding portfolios of property. Block management is what we did. Blocks and blocks and blocks. Keep adding them.
More contracts.
Just keep adding them on. But it's a shit game. Like, it's horrible. No one's grateful. You know, no one's thankful. It's thankless stuff. It's problems all day. Lifts are broken. God, drains are blocked. It's just challenges.
I suppose it's stuff that people have to do rather than want to do.
It was just problems.
It's like insurance. No one wants to pay it, but you've got to do it.
You've got to do it. And so, it wasn't, for me, it wasn't an industry that was fun. But a great business commercially, in that sense. Yeah. So sold that 2019, Securo 2021, 2022.
When we were at school, if you go back to think the kids that were a bit disruptive, didn't really listen, maybe weren't that great at school. Of all the kids, I'm not going to name names, but all the kids that have done quite well.
I've done well now. I know. Yeah, many of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's not exact correlation, but there is a big, strong correlation between that.
Yeah, and I honestly do think it's because they've gone right, and I've got to think outside of the box. And that's a bit of a saying, but they're just not mainstream. I've just got to go and create. Emotionally detached sometimes. I don't really care. I'm just focused on. We're going to get on with it. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because I think, I've heard people who are dyslexic. They go, "I'm just a great delegator because I can't actually do."
Yeah,
I can't do the paperwork, so I need to get Julie in accounts to get that sorted, rather than taking the load on all yourself. Going,
it's just not what I do.
Just this is what
that's what I do.
But you always learn. I'm literally sitting here learning because I'm learning about myself. I'm listening to you talking about what you're talking about, and I'm thinking, do you know what? My passion is sitting here talking about stuff.
Yes.
I love getting the guys together and doing a brainstorming session. Do you know what I mean? But actually, being pragmatic is not my strong suit. It's more the creativity.
So are you methodical?
I can be.
Right.
My morning routine is methodical.
Right.
And I have to be honest with you, I have to do these things. I do, I'm not going to go into my morning routine, but I'll get in a cold plunge and all that sort of stuff. And I have to do these things. If I don't,
it sort of affects the day.
Affects the day.
Yeah. Because it's like a setup, isn't it?
Yeah. I have to do A, B, C, D, and then okay, cool. I can crack on.
Yeah.
If I don't, then I'll be my brain's
I'm missing it. Yeah.
My brain's thinking I didn't do that earlier on. That's annoying me.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, when you jumped from Deadman's to entrepreneurial life, was there any point where you thought, I've cocked this up, or I wish I hadn't done it, or whatever?
Not that comes to mind. There wasn't a moment of I regret I shouldn't have done this. There wasn't. I think it's because at that time it was just so exciting. Everything was new.
Yeah.
From getting the first van that we had, to recruiting the first person that we had, to winning the first job. It was £88 Buckhurst Hill. It was a bin store clean. Me and Mitch, my old business partner, in a transit van. We bought our first transit van for £3,250 in Kent, and I remember driving down there, picked it up, and it was our first job.
You're doing the do.
You will never forget some of your first jobs, right? Some of the first things or invoices that you raise. £88 Buckhurst Hill bin store clean. 88 quid, like brilliant.
Look at this, Mitch.
So
we got.
So in answer to the question,
each,
take the fuel out. There's £6. Yeah, but it's. I don't think it's a regret. No way. No regrets now. Certainly. Yeah. Hard. Of course, yeah.
Do you think that was because you took the pressure off yourself by moving into that?
100%. It's all part of
that. As if you were renting or whatever, and you're thinking, oh God, then all of a sudden the doubts come in and go, sod it, I'll go back to the job.
Yeah, and it must happen because you don't know what is a right decision until time. So until you're in it and doing it, but in actual fact, low overheads, it allowed us to go and go, it's a bit tight this month, it's okay.
It's why people say do it when you're young, because
absolutely.
you've sort of like reverse engineered it. Yeah. You've sort of gone, right, I'm going to go back to being 20.
Strip it back.
Yeah,
and so that allowed us just to, but then we were, Mitch and I, when we formed it, we were quite aggressive in, let's just get on with this and go.
And when you were scaling it, were you taking money out of the business, or were you mainly leaving?
A bit of both. Yeah, we were taking sort of lifestyle money out to live, but a lot of it was just rolling it back up, keep growing, reinvesting it. Again, that's another one, is we hit when in businesses you hit ceilings, and it's a proven method that there are ceilings that you will continually hit as you expand and grow. You'll hit this ceiling, and it might be because you've got lack of resource, lack of funding, not enough business coming through, maybe your facility's not big enough. There'll be ceilings of whatever factor that is. It will flatline if you hit a ceiling and go, well, we can't grow anymore, so this is our capacity. We're not going to do any more business. You flatline. If you're flatlining, you're not innovate, you'll fall off, because that just will happen, because someone will catch up, someone's going to get a bigger warehouse or provide a better service, and then you'll fall off. So you have to learn how you break through ceilings. So every time we hit ceilings, and we'd see it, you hit a ceiling as a business, as a department, or individually, you just break through it. So we would then reinvest, new people, more fleets, bigger business, rebrand, better website. More, it's just growth.
Yeah.
I think that's sort of, we've experienced that a little bit, haven't we?
Yeah, totally.
And I'll hold my hand up, but certainly with the Strings Direct, you sort of go, we've been doing it for 25 years, it's plateaued.
Yeah.
And you lose interest.
Yeah.
Right? And you go, it's just lifestyle business now, it's going to do its thing, and I'm going to get my money, and then all of a sudden it starts to tail off, and you go, and then what's happened is we start to pay more attention.
Yes.
Get more interest in it, be more creativity.
Yeah. And also with that, Paul, is if a business is flatlining, who wants to work in a flatline?
Yeah.
If you ask your staff, your team, the culture.
Yeah.
And if it's coming from the top down, they go, he's not interested.
He's not interested.
Yeah,
Why should I be?
He comes in one day a week. He's not really bothered. The conversations they're not inspirational.
No.
We're not driven.
Yeah.
There's not great incentives. So who wants to work in a flatline
Absolutely.
business? So it's, if anything, even if as an owner you don't really want to think, I'm quite comfortable for the culture and for the growth of the company.
Yes.
You need to go through again.
Yeah.
So
I think that's
an
just
interesting
something. It's given us a bit of a shot on the arse, really.
Yeah.
And definitely it feels more exciting now, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. I think like I say, it's not very comfortable sometimes, but you do need it.
Yeah, of course you do.
And you're right. If you have plateaued, well, people say you're either growing or you're contracting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's only going to that can't last forever.
Yeah.
So which way are you going to go?
Yeah.
There'll be someone down the road who's doing more, more marketing. If you're not doing marketing, they're doing marketing.
Yeah.
They're trading their attention. You
So
have no attention.
So it's at that point, in my experience, it's when you hit a ceiling and you'll see it. The numbers will tell you, the people, the new business coming in the door, whatever it is, you'll have a feeling of it. You've got a question, right? We've hit a ceiling. How are we going to go through it? What do we want to do? Just keep doing it. And it might happen every month, it might happen every year, depends when it is. But
with the, it's completely different marketing methods to what we might do. What were your marketing methods that you found worked with your security businesses and all that sort of stuff?
Personality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were the
It's
business.
security.
Yeah.
I mean, is anyone interested?
Yeah.
What's funny as well is you go, what's your business? And I would always say security, but it's all right. It's not big burly men, because that's your immediate your go-to. But it was for me when I looked at the industry, and that's the other one as well. There was quite a lot of research. I always look at the markets. Even the ventures that I'm involved in now. I look at the markets. Who are the key players? What do they look like? What do they feel like? Who are the people in that company? What's the whole feeling of it? And then how can I do what can I do differently to put a different spin on it? And our branding was brilliant. What we were doing was then quite innovative. That was 12 years ago. More now, that was 13, 14 years ago. But in terms of social, the videos of the guys in the vans doing just bringing a personality to it. Sharp branding as well. We were obviously, when you start out in a business, I think for me a big key is I don't want to know, if I look at a company, I don't want to know how big that is. Is that 3 vans or 300 vans? So the uniform, how the boys turn up and the girls, but the engineers on site, the vans, it's all unified and uniform. The branding's really tight. So I think that paid dividends.
How do you mean by that? Do you mean that you wanted your 3 vans to look like a 300?
100%. I want it to look that you don't know how big that is. So we were going for national contracts. So we'd go and work with Bellway, Persimmon, Berkeley Homes. If you turn up with a white man with a the Dell
Please
boy
me on the back.
the Dell boy,
Yeah.
with the 0780 number, the mobile phone.
Yeah.
There's no problem with that. But I do know what you are.
Yeah.
It's perception.
There's absolutely, just want to be clear, there is no problem with that. But if you are that van with an 078 number written on it, it's your mobile and it's Mike at, that's fine, but I won't give you a national contract.
Yeah.
If you are Securo 0800, 3 satellite offices and all the rest of it, then you have the capability, even if it turns out you're only 3 vans at that time.
Yes.
That's how I think we grew, because we always had that national mindset, because the company was national at the end. So it was always that end in mind. That's where we're going to take it to. So we started out with that.
Good time to tell a Sainsbury story then.
Yeah, I think it could be. I'll share it.
Yeah, go
You know, so early days, I mean, what a great saying, fake it till you make it. Yeah. You kind of have to in the earlier days, don't you, right? Yeah. Because you're not it yet. Yeah. You're not the finished product. So we've set a business up. I had a desk in Chelmsford. It was me. Mitch had just joined me as well. The company's 3 months old, very new journey, embarking on it. And we was like, right, okay, we need to go and win work. So ultimately, one of those is we've created our brochure. We've created this facade of that we were. We had contractors, so we could work and we could support it, but we weren't as big as we were portraying at those early days. And we remember sitting in front of said large local supermarket store that you might know, that we sat there and we said, look, we can deliver and we can perform to this service. We can do this for you on a national level. And going through the size of our business, this is how many vans we had, this is how many guys we've got. And I remember at that time, Mitch looking at me going, have we got that?
So how did you have to? So you got that contract, right?
So we got a number of contracts with them, and then that's when you go to work,
right?
Because you're in the corner now,
right?
You've got to go to work. So from that is where it's just scaling, working with subs, pulling pieces together, growing teams quickly, recruiting, hiring, on the tools as well. I mean, when you first set out a business, you normally wear about 7 hats.
Yeah.
HR, IT, finance, sales, operations, a couple of different operational hats. And at that point, you're everything. So much so that I had a van with my then tweed coat and office wear that I'd put that on and go and have meetings, take that off and put the high vis on and go back out.
Yeah.
So you've got to be that in the early days, and then you can start to take the hats off.
Yeah.
It just, what it meant was it allowed us to grow quicker, winning some great contracts and going, right, we've got them, let's go.
Once you scale, you can start giving the hats to. You can afford to employ.
You can afford to employ. You're winning the work and you grow.
Yeah.
So you were saying in a little pre-chat that we had that you learned a lot of lessons in those first. One of them was I noticed was the don't be Mr. Yes.
Yeah.
Is that?
Oh God! I mean, when you are early in your journey, you don't want to sound desperate, but you are. Of course you are, because you've got bills to pay. You want to grow. You're keen. You want to be Mr. Yes.
Yeah.
That can be failing. What I feel now in the journey that I've learned, you must be focused, laser focused on actually what you do and what you do really well.
Personally, or just as
personally and as a business. I think it works both ways as well, Lee. But I would say, as a business, when we first set up, we were Mr. Yes. So we were not only doing security, vacant property, then we were doing ground management and maintenance. We had a gardening team, we had tradies, we had bricklayers, electricians. We had all these multi-trades around us. I can't hang a picture.
Yeah.
Like, if anything goes wrong, I can't help.
No.
So now I started to lose control. And there were a number of things that started to happen that we're dressing it up, we're saying to clients we can work with you, in actual fact, we couldn't. And now we're dropping balls, I'm losing the control, and I thought, in actual fact, this is now a detriment to us, saying we're Mr. Yes. So we were recognised, I forget what company it was, but I think when they gave me an award or something, because we shut a division down, which was doing good, about £750,000 worth of work, which for someone would have gone, well, I'll take it. Yeah. But it's not what we do. Right. And I can remember I was on holiday, lots of shit was hitting the fan, and I came back and I sat there with a business partner and a couple of in the team and said, this isn't for me. We can either do one or two things. You're absolutely welcome to have that and keep running with it, but it's not for me. We split the business. I want to focus on security, and I want to be the best in temporary site security in the UK. That's my goal. That's where I want to go and grow. Do you want to join me on that, or what do we do? And we all agreed, cut that off. Let's focus on security. And that's what we did. So it was losing the Mr. Yes. So it's ultimately, I suppose, the message there is actually be brave and go, no, it's not for me. Because you can see shiny stuff. And I bet a lot of owners do that. Go, it's only a few grand, I'll do that. No, it's a distraction from actually what you're great at.
Yeah, I think we've come unstuck with that even early days in our, in the fulfillment side of things. We've taken on a few people that seemed great at the time, lovely people, but ultimately it just wasn't working out for us. This is gonna take up X amount of time. We were talking about taking on a certain client that was going to be almost take up the whole warehouse. And it was going to be just one of.
And how attractive is that? You think, well, look
it's
at the
loads of
revenue.
money.
Look at the money.
But then Paul was like, I think we're only going to get about 500 quid a month out of this. After all said and done.
He's doing 10,000 orders a month. You've got
amazing.
Hire 3 people.
Yeah.
It's going to take up the whole building.
Yeah.
And then you're betrothed to him. Do you know what I mean? All of a sudden he's your business, and then he goes, do you know what? I want a discount.
Yeah.
It's.
And so look at how many companies and opportunity that you will do that. And that's not to say you're not Mr. Yes, because there's calculation to it.
Yes. Yeah.
But absolutely, don't just go, we'll have it, and we'll do everything because I do think it ends in tears.
It's a short-term gain,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, like you say, these balls get dropped, and you're all of a sudden in too deep, maybe sometimes, and you can't. You're thinking, I've got to let down a lot of people here.
Definitely. So that is a tip. Don't be Mr. Yes.
Did you? We touched on Mitch was your business partner. Yeah. Did you find it easier when there was 2 of you to like as a soundboard or?
I love the Mitch. Yeah. I miss Mitch. Great partner. He's not dead.
I've done that before. We had a business partner and we bought him out, and someone phoned up and went, "Is Steve there, please?" And I went, "Oh, he's no longer with us anymore." And the bloke was like, "Oh." I went, no, we just bought him out.
He's all right. No, Mitch. I think it's because it's so deep rooted. Because we did start out with nothing, but it wasn't far off of that. It really wasn't far off of that. So it was nothing to lose, everything to win, and that just makes me smile now. So we've shared that whole journey. We worked. I've always looked at it like a wave. We just got to each other. There was strengths that I had that he didn't have, and strengths that he had that I didn't, and it was a beautiful thing. So lucky to have had a partner that we could absolutely openly debate. And it's, for me, I think it's really important to find that. If you are going into a new venture, really look at, if you are going into a venture with a partner, talk about it. Make sure you're on the same page.
Honest conversations.
100% honest conversations. This is what you're going to get of me. This is what I'm like. Just don't jump into bed with each other on just, I think we've got an idea. Go deeper. I was just very lucky to have a business partner that absolutely had my back, and I absolutely had his, and we'd have that today. So.
But did you know that about him when you first got in, or was it just luck?
I think that's it as well, Paul. Is a big part of it was luck. We really got on well. We knew each other, but we had never worked with each other. And when you work with each other, it's like a marriage, isn't it? You're like a marriage. So there's emotions there. The whole thing. You're going through a whole journey together, and we just hit it off. Brilliant.
I guess that's it, isn't it? If you have got that, me and Paul talk about it, that he is the ideas man, and I sort of do more of the implementation of it. But if it was both one way or the other, then you just wouldn't have that synergy.
It's like opposites attract, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, absolutely. Yeah.
I think that's a really big share for me. And again, on learnings, look at your partnerships. If you are looking at partnerships, great. What's expected? Time, resource, money, ability, skill set. Almost not like an interview, not doing that, but just be open and honest and go there and have that really open conversation rather than think, I'll just go with it for now and we'll see how we get on. I'll tell you how you're going to get on. If you don't have that, it's going to end in tears.
And you also put something in your brief, and I really love this: action over perfection.
Gosh.
And it's kind of like just pull the trigger, to be honest with you. That's where we got this from. We've got a saying.
Brilliant.
We got a saying in the business because I've talked about this before, but there used to be 4 of us.
Right.
Me, Lee, Dad, and Steve. And we used to have meetings about something that could just be decided like that. An hour meeting, and at the end of the hour, all it took was one of us to go, I'm not sure about that, we're going to have a think about it. Nothing got done.
Nothing gets done.
Right? So then we just had this saying. This just
brilliant.
And I guess it's a similar what you're saying, action over perfection.
I just think you've just got to get on, haven't you? If you don't, you can procrastinate forever. We do it as humans anyway. I'll get round to that. We'll have a look at that another time. doesn't quite feel right at the minute. Should we look into it a bit more? Of course, just don't jump into everything. There needs to be a few conversations around it. But when I look at some of my regrets on taking action and should have done, then I go, in my mind, I should have done even more action. And I feel that we've been pretty good in getting shit done and getting on. But yeah, take action and just get on with it.
So the main regret would be, didn't take enough action.
I didn't take enough action, should have done it quicker. Two that I'll share with you that are just straight at the top of my head. When we were growing Securo, I was looking at a competitor, and there was a particular piece of a kit that they used, like a little Dalek, and I remember seeing that at an Excel centre within, a year into the business, I remember seeing it, and there was one guy that was in the little corner, and I went, God, that's clever. Little thing sits there. I was like, you could have them in the van, cameras in it, set it up and just deploy them, their units. I looked at a fabricator, met my cousin, he was a fabricator, let's try and design something. Played around with it, pushed it, poked it, didn't do any more with it, left it. That should have just been, I knew it was in the gut, I knew that was going to work. And the business that had carried on and grown with that, they're the largest in the UK at that. Hands down, they're everywhere. So I saw that and I should have just gone, get on with that, Neil, stop messing around with it, and got distracted and didn't. That was one. So that was pure action. And the other one, I've got a love for Ibiza, and I've got a love for leisure, lifestyle, hospitality businesses and all of that jazz. So I was looking at hotels out there, and I had a really great
You would be so...
could you imagine it? Oh, I'd love it.
Sweeney.
Yes. It's like cocktails and dreams.
Mate,
I'd be like a really tacky version of Tom Cruise.
You take my money.
Yeah. So I created some really good leads out there. Built a good relationship with a lady that was in the game of commercial property and trading. She brought a hotel to me, 21 bed, beautiful, just outside San Antonio. It was 2.1 million euros. At this time, now this is 2015, I didn't have 2 million euros. Yeah. I was still well in a journey for Securo. Yeah. The but part, I did definitely know people with that kind of money that we could have done a support and done something with. I threw it around. I thought, oh no, I know my gut tells me it's a great opportunity. Oh no, I don't want to do it. I'll leave it. 6 months later, it got acquired by the Mambo brothers. You know them, right? Bought. It's now converted into a hotel called Las Mimosas. Yeah. It's exactly how I saw and what it should have been and what it should be. And yeah, it's just flying. And that's just another great example. Just go. Should have taken action. Yeah. Should have just been braver. You know.
So could you have made that work? Do you think in hindsight?
In hindsight, 100%. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah, they've not changed. They've just kept it really quirky. They've re-stripped it and fitted it, but it was just a screaming opportunity. It was in the same ownership for 30 years. It was just time. You knew what you could have done. But look, there was opportunities I did take, and I did take action on. So you can't win everything.
Yeah.
That was the one that got away.
So if you always had this self-belief, because obviously you're unbelievably confident. Charming,
drinking by
that. But in terms of having this self-belief that I could have done that. Yeah. Have you always had that? Or has that kind of grown with time?
No, I think we touched on it earlier about I'm not very educated I'm not academic.
But when you were younger, sorry to butt in, when you were younger, I said to you earlier on, what I remember about you were like, there was no lack of confidence. All right, maybe you weren't academic, but there was no lack of confidence. No. You were the life and the soul of the party. You were like, oh, let's do this, let's jump over this wall, and you've got this sort of like radiant energy that, I remember you really fondly, even though we maybe not seen each other for 10 years at one point. I remember you really fondly as a mate at school. Yeah. And someone who, you want to be around. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think confidence was never you weren't lacking.
And that for me, that's my cloak.
Yeah.
Confidence is my cloak. People are my cloak. I know that I really want to help people, abundance minded. I want to help and understand people, big around that. So for me, when your question, Lee, around, I just look at, why can't I do it? Someone's going to do it.
Yeah.
Why can't I do it?
Why can't you be the one?
Why can't it be me? Yeah. Now, that's where you go on a journey that you look into and go, can I do it? Yeah. So there were barriers like as you hit, like we said, you hit ceilings, and you hit a ceiling where some people go, no, that's enough now.
Yeah.
We're not going to go anymore. Where I always question, can we not do it?
Yeah.
What would it look like? Is this the greatest thing it could be? Could it be greater?
Yeah.
And
So
always have that, and I'll always.
So you're always peering up to see.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I could do that.
Could
rather
this be-
than just going, oh
No, I'm
that's
happy
too high for me.
I'm happy with my lot. I don't know what it is. It's some sort of an illness, but you just want to keep growing, don't you?
But that's. I look at it like I think I've said before to you. Like it's like when you were younger, you used to play video games, and it's like going next level, next level, next level.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship is like real life video games.
Yeah, because it is a game anyway.
You can never
isn't
stop.
it?
You don't have to. You complete one, you just buy another.
You
game.
just go and go again. Now, how many people do we know that are doing it? They're just, they're buying businesses and growing and scaling, and it's just, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, I said that's the question.
It's just whether you've got it in you or not. And I'm not saying I've got it in me. Would I want to do a James Sinclair and have that on my head? Probably not.
Yeah, and
But I like the sort of, maybe a watered down version.
Yeah, and that's what's beautiful about it, is because it's whatever sits with you.
Exactly.
It's whatever sits with you.
You can have
If
one
you're
business, 10
uncomfortable,
businesses, whatever.
if you struggle with financial worry, you don't want that, you just want to keep it, then great.
Yeah.
But it is whatever's right for you. But definitely, why not is a big one that you could wear. Yeah, why not do it?
That is true. Yeah, why not? And why not me?
Why
either?
not? And why not me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with your latest sort of things that you've done outside of so you sold those businesses.
Yes.
And you've gone into more of a coaching.
Yep. So, entrepreneurial operating system is what it's called. I don't know. What do you think about the word entrepreneur as a word?
I hate
don't like
it.
it, do you?
Same.
I don't like. So when someone asks me what I do,
You wouldn't refer to yourself.
I say I've got a guitar store, right?
Yes.
I don't say, I've got this.
I'm an
entrepreneur, because it makes me sound like a wanker.
It's a funny thing, isn't it?
I think a lot of people don't like it.
And I understand that, because is it because of what's happening socially? Is it because people go, well, they're an entrepreneur? I don't know. But the entrepreneurial part, what it is, let's put some context around this. When I was building the businesses, about 2016, read a book called Traction. Brilliant book. Simple, because I'm simple, Brian. I need it simple. I don't want to be, in depth. And it allowed me to put certain tools in the company that gave me simplicity. So that's the thing. Brilliant, firstly. So I read the book, put some tools in the company, just got some clarity on the scorecard, numbers, bit of structure, having some better meetings. It just allowed me to get a bit of a better grip on the business. That was as far as I took it in my businesses at that point. Use a number of the tools. Oh, that's really good. That works. As it has scaled it probably actually, certainly for security, it gave it greater value in that sense, monetarily as well, because it was much clearer. We had a company manual, how we run the business, use certain tools. But in doing that, when I sold the companies, I went on a mad sabbatical. Turns out as well, you get this point. Now, we come from the garage. It was food, it was warm, it was heated, right? It was fine. But you are on this journey that you've got to get this thing. I've got to get this money, because once I've got this money, it's all going to be good. Yeah. We're going to get there. You get there, you sell the company, you get an amount of money. For me, there's no celebration, there's no confetti celebration at the top of that mountain. I can only share it for me. Maybe it's at the age that I was at that time, 41, still loads in the tank.
Yeah.
Yes, there's money in the bank, but at the end of those years, I had money anyway. I had a car, a holiday, we was okay. Yeah. So I think from that, it was, okay, well, now what do I do? So I just wanted to share that one. Don't make it money orientated. It's pointless for that. It needs to be bigger than money, definitely. So once I sold the companies, I then found out and learned that you could become an implementer of what is EOS, right? Entrepreneurial Operating System. Simplest way to explain it is, if you've got 40 people in your business, it's how you get those 40 balls of energy all aligned and moving in the same direction. Gets clarity, clear on your vision, there's traction, so you get measurables through the business, and it's just healthy. Healthy is a big one. We spoke about it earlier.
Is it a theory, or is it sort of software?
It's not software.
Okay.
It's theory. It's how you all work. It's how you communicate, how you have your meetings, what numbers you track, what priorities you got. So every quarter you get together, review, did we get our priorities, what are our numbers? go down again. It's almost like I always refer it to, you're going through a jungle. You don't know where you are because you're in the jungle. Climb to the top of the canopy. Are we on the way to the banana beach? Yeah. Back down again and keep going. Yeah. The banana bar, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it's that.
Banana
Where's Sweeney's?
Where's Sweeney's banana beach?
They do the best banana daiquiris going.
with the old Panama on.
Yeah.
But that is the best metaphorical way of it. Is it's clarity. You're getting traction and actually moving the whole company forward. Because many businesses, I think, you go, "No, how are you getting? Where do you want to go? What's your vision? What does it want to look like in 3 years? What's the picture of it? What's your goals for the year? What you doing? What are you doing for the next 90 days? What's the plan?"
I was about to say, you must meet a lot of people. Do you see this common trait amongst people who are just kind of treading water?
I was one of them. You just because you're in it,
coasting.
You're just in it, aren't you? You're firefighting. There's a problem there. You put the fire out there. You go there. EOS for me removed and put a lot of the fires out. So I'd experienced it in the businesses. So then when I left, that was when I then found out you could be an implementer. That's what they call them.
So you found it through being an operator of your business, and you found it as a training thing.
That's it.
Initially.
Correct.
Right.
So I was using some of the, because you can self-implement it and just go, I'll just use, look at it, if you look at it like a personal trainer, you know what press ups to do, you do star jumps and run around the block, but you have a personal trainer to go, in actual fact, do exactly that, do it this way and finesse it. So an implementer is someone that supports the company to make sure that that's really followed and done and holds them accountable. Right. So I learnt that, flew out to Dallas, just totally embraced it, flew back. Now that's 2 years ago now. It's been part of my journey, working with loads of clients. I absolutely love it.
So is it like someone created this, obviously?
Yeah, so it's over 20 years old. A guy called Gino Wickman.
Right.
Was in a family business. Then he cobbled together or pieced together a number of tools that were out there. This is the great thing. There's no silver bullets in it. It's all simple methods. Yeah. But pieced it together as one way of functioning and working. And then in doing that, went on a journey, started putting it into other businesses, got better and better, and then that was how then EOS really was formed, and it's just been working. So there's over 26,500 companies running on it. This isn't just an overnight success, in that sense. So so that's now what I do as part of my life. Work with clients, help them get better, remove frustrations. I'm really curious. Yeah, I'm nosy. Oh, what are you doing in your business? And how great is it to come and help? Yeah. How good is that? I'm an entrepreneur. I've had a business. I've got this. I've had companies. I know the problems. Neil, I'm struggling with that. I can help with this. Yeah. It's brilliant. I love it. I had a day yesterday with a client. It's just brilliant.
Buzzing afterwards.
It's buzzing because there's things I call it like the light bulb or the aha, and there's things that are just popping through the day, and then it just hits them. Clarity on the roles. Have you got the right people? What's their seat even look like? Are they the right person for the seat? There's just the simple things and getting clear all the way through the business. So there's a lot of tools that it uses, add simplicity to the company.
So it's just created so it's more all simple ideas but more digestible for.
It's so the size of the companies we work with, entrepreneurial, growth minded, 10 to 250 kind of size business. Right. They want change. They're not afraid to just, they want growth. Yeah. It's that's the clients that we work with. There's some big, whether you like them or not, Crocs,
Yeah.
I mean, they run on it.
Do you know what? That was one company that I thought, because they were just old lady gardening shoes, right?
Brilliant business.
But now they're in
what a business?
They're in like JD Sports and
£35 and they're pressed mould rubber.
Yeah. Yeah. But you got people like going down the catwalk in it was just I just was baffled.
It's perception.
Crocs is a great story. I remember I bought a pair in America. I reckon it was 15 years ago, something like that. 15 years ago, and I remember bringing them back because they were so comfy. These are around the garden. These are brilliant. And I remember everyone going, "What are they?" And I said, "You'll come round to it." Believe me,
when you're 45,
when you're 45,
and you got bunions.
I wish I invested at that point. Imagine it, yeah. But But yeah, on the EOS, it's just how to help you get a grip of your business. That's really, if you
It's perfect for you, isn't it? You could just see.
I help you get your shit straight.
Yeah.
And I help the companies. It's the lead. You work with the leadership team. I think that as well is great. I had a coach, brilliant guy, Lucas Vigilante, wonderful man. I mean, what a name!
Yeah, I was about to say,
Lucas Vigilante.
Mortal Kombat.
You just, you just want it, don't you? You want to turn it. Oh, okay, man. What a shooter! But what a great man, great guy. He worked with Mitch and I, and we spent great time together. I got great value from it. But what I found was, it was working with me and Mitch, and that at that level, where EOS is with the leadership team and the organisation, so it's you get the whole gang together, which is slightly different.
So how long? So your new business, it's the photography, like the school photography.
Yes,
Is it?
yeah. So I've been a year in that business now.
Is it just you that owns it?
I'm shareholder at the moment on that, so we are equal shareholders of it, and I'm the managing director. So in that sense, don't really like titles. I prefer just T-boy. Yeah. With you. And the thing with titles, though, it's funny, isn't it?
I think it's
because
because
you think about titles.
Because I think it's got a bit of a funny thing about it for me as well. I just know. I think people just throw that out.
Yeah,
I think it's not like I'm not like a big like look at me, and I think titles portray that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm the CEO.
Yes.
Like, whatever.
I'm not a fan of the titles thing,
I said on previous podcasts, like, you're always learning. Like my mum, she's 72 years old, and most of the time she's just talking rubbish. But like she sometimes she says something, I go, that's actually a really good idea.
He doesn't say that at the time.
No. I still say, shut up.
Whatever mums were going to do that.
He comes upstairs. You won't believe this, but mum's actually have a really good.
No, I don't even say that. I don't even say that. Lee, I've had a really good idea, mate.
Yeah, but titles, for me, not particularly great fan of them, because I think that particularly if you put manager, I'm a manager.
Yeah.
What does it actually mean? And what does it actually look? So I prefer, and this is an EOS thing anyway. I prefer accountability in that. Like, what are you accountable for? What are you responsible for in a department?
So no one's got a title. They've all more. Like, they're all equal, and they just have different roles.
Yeah. So titles is a thing that you have in a company,
right,
but mainly because of email signatures when you're talking, because outside world needs to know.
Of course, you need to sort of.
Sometimes you might be the head of that area, or you might be an accounts manager for this, or whatever that looks like. I'm okay for it. But I suppose it's for me, the bigger impression is what you're accountable for, rather than what's the title look like. But so anyway, with my new interest, which is a brilliant business, really, really excited about this one. Been in it for a year. It's high volume school photography. Yeah, that's what the business is. Very niche.
Yeah,
can't hold a camera. But don't need to, because I've got amazing photographers in the company. But it's all about how we're aligning the team. Again, I know it's referring to EOS, but it's part of my world. Clear on our vision, clear on what we need to go and do, and then grow it and keep moving it forward.
So with this EOS system, now that you're an implementer, you're like a sort of
a guru,
a master of it.
It
sounds a bit. It sounds like that you could just rinse, repeat, in effectively any company that you wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, I've got clients that have got 250 staff. I've got clients that've got 6.
Yeah.
So it can work in any crop. How many have they got? I mean,
it
can work because it's not about the size of the business. It's about the structure of how clear you are and who's accountable and who's doing what and what are the disciplines. Yeah. Are you tracking the right numbers? I mean, data. I love data now.
Yeah.
If you're collecting and you're collating the right data and you're tracking it, it starts to tell you a story and you can make decisions around it because it removes all the ego and the emotion, doesn't it? Yeah. So you start going, what are the numbers?
Yeah.
What do you want to do for the next quarter? Well, I mean, ask you guys, what are your numbers? What do you need to do for the next 90 days?
Go on, Paul, tell me.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, we're pushing more on Google Ads.
Right.
With Google Ads, we do a little bit of social.
Yeah.
But we sell branded stuff, right?
Right.
So,
do you watch it? Does it trend?
Yeah.
Does it go up and down?
I mean, not so much really, actually, because we sell stuff that people need rather than they want. So we're selling guitar strings, right? Which is the petrol that goes in the car. No one wants petrol. They need petrol.
Need it, yeah.
And we're selling branded petrol.
Yeah.
So people go to Google, type it in. So that's our main sort of focus on marketing, and we're also doing sort of some of this sort of content stuff.
Right. Okay. So when you look at numbers, then if you looked at last Q1, could you just look at last Q1 and go, right, this Q1 it might tweak up 5%, and that's what we're on. You know, do you look to go, right, this is what we want to do, we need to pump more into Google?
Absolutely, that's exactly what we do.
Yeah, right. I think, like you say, since getting a bit more back into sort of focusing on it, we've certainly drilled down into more sort of focus numbers such as like average order value and things like that.
Brilliant.
Certain things that are going to drive the revenue going higher.
Yeah.
So rather than just going, we want to do an extra 5% this month.
Yeah. Well, how?
It's just like, okay.
Well, how?
It's kind of like, well, what parameters within that?
Yeah.
Are the levers to grow that revenue?
Yeah.
And obviously looking to those ones that are the key ones to do that. So certainly, those looking at those more like, not rather than just going, let's go grow the revenue by 5%, 10% this month. It is working out what are the key ones that are going to have the biggest impact on doing that.
So pushing levers, pulling buttons, but again, it's derived from data.
Yeah.
And so
rather than gut instinct, rather than I think we should do this.
Yeah.
And it's not just let's get more sales. You can also do stuff internally, creative. I don't like cutting stuff, but like like we said earlier on, go to your suppliers, go to your delivery company, get a better deal.
Cut your margins at that end.
Which is a lot easier, to be honest with you. Going to one guy and he goes, I'm going to give you 10% off because you're doing such volume with us, rather than trying to get 10% more business.
Yeah. And again, it all's derived by data, tracking your numbers, giving you a story. What do you want to do with it? Where does it want to go? But the data is relevant to your vision. What is the vision? Where do you want to go? What do you want the year to look like? Because it kind of, you play it back, don't you? So if you were training for a triathlon, well, then you go, right, well, you need to start tracking up some miles. You need to get on your bike. You need to do some swimming. It's exactly the same in business. If you want to go there, well, what actions do you need to actually take to go there? But you need data to look at it. So EOS is all about that, which is,
But we've seen that in real time.
Yeah.
As in the negative side of it, when we've gone, okay, I think the accountant even said it's a lifestyle business, and we'll go, it's a lifestyle business, cool, we don't have to do nothing. And then you stop doing something.
Yeah.
And it just tails off.
Yeah, hitting a ceiling.
And the ceiling's going to the floor,
and it's coming off. Yeah.
So you really have to, if you're not progressing, you're going backwards.
Yeah. So, so the new interest, new venture, really exciting. Got a great team, very well established business, high volume. So, we'll take over 300,000 photos of heads of children through the year. So it's a lot. It's a machine in that sense. So now it is about being clear on our vision, making sure we've got the right people in the right seats, because that's very important. So and obviously I'm coming in green. I can't hold a camera. I need to learn the business.
Yeah.
So I'm being very curious. What are we doing? What does it look like? The data, what numbers are you tracking? Have you got the right data? Do you know what you should be looking at?
Yeah. Can you have access to that data?
Where is it? Yeah. What does it look? What do we want to know of it? The issues. What issues are there in the company? There's loads of issues. Every business has hundreds of issues all the time. So what are they? How do we resolve them? So it's really identifying that part. What systems have you got?
Yeah.
What systems are we using? Are our systems linear? I mean, the great thing about processes, look at McDonald's.
Yeah.
The master of systems and processes, aren't they? You can fire and catapult your 16-year-old child in there. Next thing, they're actually working in the biggest restaurant chain by Tuesday.
Yeah.
Doing burgers, serving chips. Why? Because you follow the process. It's just what you do. And so if you look at how they're on steroids, but just take a part of that and just do some big processes, because it makes it a better place. It's healthier, more functional. It's a better place to be. Clean processes. And then finally, which is what we're doing now, which is the traction part, is just having great meetings, having priorities and moving it forward. So that's what we're doing.
I heard something about McDonald's the other day. I think I put it in the work group. I just loved it. It was like about marketing and the power of marketing. And the bloke just said something like, who sells the most burgers in the world? McDonald's.
Yeah.
Who sells the worst burgers in the world?
Yeah.
McDonald's.
True. Yeah.
I mean, that's a bit of a, you know, but it's true, isn't it? You know, when he makes
burgers in there,
But I tell you, I mean, when you look at that, look at Five Guys. Damn, that's a good burger.
Yeah.
Damn, that's an expensive burger.
Yeah.
£20 a burger.
Yeah.
But doesn't stop me from going. I will go and spend £50 with the kids to go and buy burger and chips. Like, when did that even happen? But look at what they're rolling out. Amazing. And now, had you have sat 5 years ago and gone, right, I've got this idea, I'm going to set up a burger chain, you kind of go, I've got a secret.
Yeah.
There's kind of a couple doing it already.
Yeah.
But look, they've found a market. Why? Better, bigger, just more, just the chips.
Yeah.
Look, everyone talks about the chips. You get a sack of them.
Yeah, you do.
It's just potato.
Yeah.
I've just spent £25 on a burger. How clever is that?
Yeah. I don't mind doing £5 on the chips.
I'll buy £5 of chips. I've got a bucket of chips.
Yeah.
So it's just, for me, I look at all different businesses. I'm very curious. Who's doing what, why they do it. The journey for now, Carmel Jane Photography, which is what the company is making it better, making it better systems, better processes. We can always keep improving and continue to scale it and just keep scaling the organisation. Yeah.
Do you sell him on volume to the school, or do you sell them to the individuals?
The school don't buy a photo. All the parents do.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Okay.
It's done through your website, sort of.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we will go to the school. A photographer take a photo of your child, and already, because it is already well established, it's all through. It's all systemized, so it goes straight online. You will get it. You'll get a photo. Order goes straight to the printer. Goes off into pack. Comes to you.
Yeah. So it's literally they just give you their email. You go, this is ready.
That's
little Johnny's picture.
That's it.
And I mean, I'm guessing that the conversion rate is mega high.
Well, yeah, and it's interesting because it's not as high as I thought.
I think it's going to be like 95%.
You would think, it's not. It's roughly 30 to 40% as a buy. Right. Yeah. So it's quite interesting because some go, I just don't buy them. Some go, actually can't afford to.
Yeah.
You know, it's the place that we're in. Yeah, some go, it's not for, it's just not what I do. So that's the take up. But because we do it on volume, it works. The numbers stack.
I think maybe I'm coming from a point where my daughter, it'd be her first one.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, gosh, once it's 5 down the line, you're probably just like, can't be bothered.
And that, Paul, is exactly what happens. Year 6, year 11.
Yeah.
Year 6, first year in school.
Yeah.
There they are. They're a bit, it's always a moment. Year 11, they're leaving. So that's the senior. Then you've got the prime. Everyone, who doesn't want to get a photo of their kid at primary school? It's just what you do, isn't it? Send it to Nan, put it on a map. It's just what you do, isn't it?
Yeah.
The industry's very emotive. What I like about the industry, it's very traditional. It's a very traditional business. So if you're looking at businesses, which is what I've obviously, part of what I do in that sense, they've got to be sticky. They've got to have sticky retaining clients. This has that. We're working with, where are we now? 700 or 800 schools we work with across the UK. So they're sticky clients in that sense. It's a very traditional business. It's almost reoccurring in a sense because it's what you do. And there's always going to be education. There's always going to be children. So, there is security in the business in that sense.
Do you find that when someone does convert, they might buy 4 or 5 of them or something like that?
Yeah, mate, some will just buy all. Yeah, amazing. It's just go, I'll have the lot, But most buy 1 or 2, one to Nan, one for the mantelpiece or for the drawer or in the loft. But it's a memory. It's a lovely industry to be in for that because we are creating that. Because when you look back now at your school, you go, look at me there.
Yeah.
It's great, but you don't know it until time, do you?
And I think that's obviously people talk about like the phones, that it's the death of photography because you don't have that old photo album going on the beach. Anything like that. So I guess there is an element of that, that, it brings that nostalgia back because you've got the picture of Neil when he was 6 on the.
Yeah, and I was at a friend's house at the weekend, and that very thing looked at on the wall. I thought, it is a thing,
Yeah,
it is a thing.
It's a pride thing. It's always there, isn't it? Still.
And you might have 5,000 photos on your phone of the kids, but there's something particular about the.
It's hard to find sometimes, isn't it? You can't go, I'm going to search this photo. You're just doing this all the time.
Yeah, but there's something special about the school photos, a memory for that, isn't there? So, so that's what we're doing.
Brilliant. Well, mate, thanks for coming in.
Easy, isn't it? You could do this all day.
Oh, yeah, you could go for another couple
of hours. There's so much you could learn, isn't there?
Yeah.
And just chat and share and
But I guess this is kind of what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is just because we're filming.
Yeah.
You're probably going into companies and talking.
Yeah, I would sit there and have a coffee, cup of tea, and just talk about what they're doing. Are you clear where you're going? I just find it. I mean, especially, two hats, the EOS hat on. I just find it amazing, especially some clients I'll be talking to, and you're going like, okay, successfully commercially, very dysfunctional internally. So numbers wise, how's your numbers yet? Turning over 23 million, it's got 20% profit, there's money there, they're building a facility, that it's a bit broken inside. Yeah, we've got a challenge, and you go, and also can you really be open and honest? That's what I'm learning.
Culturally, you mean, or
culturally, partnerships, leadership team.
Right.
Open and honest.
Yeah.
Open and honest is a really big one for me now.
Yeah.
Actually, are you really open and honest as a leadership team? Probably not, because they're not. I don't really want to say that. I'll leave it. We're all right.
Yeah.
So we get into that, because in actual fact we get there. Once you can get there, then it becomes better as a business. So yeah.
So you're obviously you're getting into people's characters as much as anything as well, aren't you?
People, it's 90% people, isn't it?
do you get pushback?
What's interesting, and this is more of a curious thing, is I come from an abundance-minded place.
Yeah.
Have a read, it will help you. If it doesn't help, then fine. If it doesn't fit for you, the but part is sometimes you will get some people in the that they push back, they don't like it. And for me, I feel it's because it actually does put a great big line of accountability. That's what I feel. And I don't really want to be involved in that. And you go, that's cool, but you're on your own journey. That's cool. But what I do, if there's someone in the business that they're pushing it back, then I always go with the why. Like, we know it's great.
Yeah.
We know it's
because they know they're in the wrong anyway, probably.
Yeah. So then you can shine a light and then you iron it out. But if it's not for them, it's cool. It's all right. Don't have to. Just if you want to be it. Yeah.
Well, sounds really good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'll send you the couple of books. Have a read of it, because for me it was brilliant.
Yeah.
But that part is brilliant. And if you need any photos of the kids at school, let me know.
We'll contact the schools.
Yeah. I have loads of mates now. They go, I've just said, because we do a lot, especially Essex. We're very strong.
Yeah.
And this part of the country, they're like, right, I've just had a photo. Right, send us the code.
100% discount.
Mate, right? Yeah, send them through. Yeah, cool.
But Neil, thanks so much for joining us,
mate.
and
it's a pleasure.
We'll do the next one on the beach.
I'd love to. Can we do that?
Yeah. Can we go off piste and do it outside? Sitting
If we can get some power to it, yeah.
sitting on a deck chair.
Right, that's the deal. Okay.
Right. Yeah. In another whatever.
Yeah.
We'll set a date.
Let's set a date in 3 to 6 months, and we can have a bit of a review how we're all getting in, how the summer's been. Yeah.
Lovely.
Sounds good.
Cheers.
Look forward to it.